for the sake of Nigeria. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
The transmission line is a super highway. For generated electricity and power. They could not even make a down payment for a roasted corn.
So Kolu is working very hard. I don't know why it's sort of looked emaciated there, like he's shrunk. But they sent this picture from last week, Friday, where Kolu looks like somebody that the stem cell they are pumping on him seems to really be working. Sure, you know that one, Sha? That they have to start sending in some regenerative cells into Tinubu's body to see if that helps enough to reduce the shaking, to reduce, you know what I mean? And then they continue to kind of pump him up with as many drugs as possible, just to ensure that he is able to sit somewhere and at least pretend to be there for just an hour or two. You know that, or you don't? It's not, I mean, look at him. If they just pump him, it look like somebody will be saying a vulcanizer pump him, like the balloon of a vulcanizer, right? He's working so hard to make Nigeria better. But I am not really good at quoting him. It's so difficult, except if I'm just going to have to be picking things from what he had to say. You can't make any sense of them. He lies conveniently by telling himself or what they say to him. Yeah, I mean, like student loan. Ibadan, great Nigeria student, you are Ibadan, University of Ibadan students. I heard that your own school fees has increased by 750%. Is that true? I want to die with that too. I heard, Sha, that you are rejecting the increments because Tinubu had, he's removed the education subsidy and student loan is doing well, is coming on well. And that is why Cardi went to America and he lied. Again, sometimes you can see that Tinubu, if it was a Tinubu of 20 years ago, it would have been very much like in tune where he's dropping all those lamba, consumer credits, blah, 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 all those nonsense he's saying. They are in no way correlating with whatever he's doing, but they're just like buzzwords, okay? You learn how to do them. For example, let me see if I can practice it and show you. Okay, I mean, something like, let me see if I could mimic that, all right? Let's say I want to talk about the corruption in Nigeria. So then I could easily just say, man, corruption in Nigeria is so dangerous that it is affecting lives of millions of people, denying them access to basic things. Very easy. No buzzword, no catchphrase. Abi? But if I want to get you confused to sound like I'm intelligent when I am not, I may start with the level of stealing in Nigeria. It has become so monumental that it's become so gigantuan that a lot of citizens, the population, are wallowing in abject lack and want, excruciatingly pouring out millions and millions of impoverished people. I'm just trying to see if I could just fuse all nonsense together, all jargons together, just by, you know what I mean? And then you'll be sitting there like, what did you say? All I'm saying is that You see, this corruption is very dangerous. It's affecting a lot of people's lives. Oh, is that the Jajantuan or excruciating? No, excruciating is the, well, why don't you just say it that way? So Tinubu will kind of drop those things to make you feel like it's making sense. But by the time you begin to piece all the nonsense he said together, they do not make any sense. Now you go finish the statement. Come to say, what he is trying to say is, see, Baba, I heard him. You don't need to tell me what he's trying to say. I'm just telling you that it's not making any sense. If somebody says something, we've seen in English, they talk, right? And then you are the one, you still want to interpret what he's trying to say. So we've seen that fraud many times. And that's exactly what they do. When they begin to drop those, I'm a Yoruba man, and sometimes I do feel jealous that some people do know how to really speak this English. But majority of those who really who knows how to speak the English, that the way the Queen's English, they are criminals, not all of them. Because I know some of you are really good, but I'm talking about these ones, okay? Because they went to the best schools all over the world, Harvard, Kingston, this, that stuff, Oxford, Cambridge, that. But none of this education that these guys acquired from all these prestigious historical institutions or citadels all over the world, none of them has benefited Nigeria. It has been on how to actually help loot and, impoverish Nigeria. So we raised the alarm the other day that the Nigerian foreign reserve has been depleted by $2 billion. How did they do that? Or Cardi now came and said, no, we did not withdraw 2 billion. Because if I play you this video now, some of you will sit down there and just be like, oh, okay, I think this one makes sense. Want to get here? Before I go to get me, I'll first warn you. Everything he's saying in that video, as much as it sounds practicable or believable, Emi Mayegun is telling you that if you pay attention and not give room to that sophistry, you can easily see through the lies. Right? Yes. They are in America, where they were asking that, is it true that you have taken $2 billion from your foreign reserve to defend the Naira? Or more, Cardi de Pairo. Cardi opened his mouth. Oduduwa Emefiole de Pairo. He lied. And you know how I feel when people lie to your face. It's like saying you are stupid. You don't know what you are saying. Okay, I've seen this. What's that? That's a can of iron brew. Now, a can of iron brew, how can it turn to a can of Coke or, Fanta? It's because they can say, no, it's Fanta. They use Fanta to make you look like you are stupid. You are not. These guys, they were borrowing money. Initially, they said they needed money to offset the backlog of the money owed to the international airliners, that their money got trapped in their bank in Nigeria. But that's not true. Oduduwa Emefiole. This one I'm going to have to explain to you before I play this video, okay? Because I know a lot of you would love what this guy says they are doing to be true. I kind of would love that for you too. Am I going? Are you not happy? Need that? Why should I be happy when I know that you are only kicking a can down the road? You're going to see it in front of you, and it's going to be more disastrous than what you have ever experienced. What did they do? Oduduwa Emefiole said, for their economy to bounce back, they needed investors. And before you can have investors, there are some certain things you have to present to the world. Number one, that you are a lawful country, a lawful government that respects rule of law, and your courts are indeed independent. You have to present that. Then the next one is going to be the security of lives and properties in your country. How is that? You see, when you have all these two, you don't even need to go to investors. They will come to you. But because Nigeria has done so terribly bad that $10 billion of businesses in Nigeria, they couldn't take the money out. And that was a red flag, a red signal to everybody. Don't go to that place. So you will never have a chance of taking your money out. They will find a means to make sure that you don't. But they put Kalu inside the plane. They took him to India, took him to UAE, took him to Qatar. They took him to Washington, all over this globe trotting. They came back, Baba. Well, I could see invest $100. So can somebody just say, I want to go and invest $100 in Nigeria? No single one. Because they couldn't trust them. Then Odudu Emefiole now came up with an idea by saying, the time when you had your $10 billion with us, the exchange rate was 400 Naira to $1. So now the exchange rate is 1,900 Naira to $1. So what happened is that we want to pay you back now. And if they are to be paid back, look at it this way. These businesses put in 4 trillion Naira in Nigerian bank, equivalent of $10 billion if you exchange it for 400 Naira to $1. When the Nigerian Naira enter Kana to Wokoto, turn to 1,900 Naira to $1. That automatically, from their 4 trillion Naira, if they change it to dollar, it won't be 10 billion. It is going to be somewhere around $2 billion. So they will lose 70% of their money, which is going to be over $7 billion. Who does that? So they rejected the offer. Some felt like, okay, you know what, just give us whatever you have. Odudu Emefiole now said he has renegotiated the entire money. Those ones who didn't accept the offer, definitely their request and their demand cannot be verified. So Nigeria doesn't hold them. But for those ones who have accepted our deal, we are now going to ready to pay them. Now, all of these are meant to be like, if they are like genuine, they would have helped Nigeria to start kind of a recovery. It's all voodoo. Oh, nah, fakey. Every avenue to recover, to make Nigeria recover, these guys have monetized it. They've profiteered from it. But they can speak English to tell you, we are working on, we are and a lie. So then they started looking for dollars desperately, like person will do money ritual. And they wait for the spirit that is coming at 12 midnight. Then this is 10 past 12. The spirit hasn't shown. And they said if the spirit is no show, you go run mad. That's exactly what the central bank of Cardi, that's what they have been doing. They were running mad. They needed the money. They needed the dollar so badly. They went and used $12 billion worth of a crude oil to borrow $3.3 billion. They got tranche of $2 billion from that. And then people started saying, what happened to the Nigerian Foreign Reserve? Why would anybody go take $2 billion in 29 days from the Nigerian Foreign Reserve to defend the Naira? I mean, Baba, these guys are practically, they are giving $10,000 to over 1,570 bureau de changes in Nigeria. About times, it will $10,000 times 1,576. Whatever the number is, I don't know, but that's something that's going to be massive. $10,000 to 1,576 bureau de changes. And it was every day. At a point, they shared over $69 million in a single day to the bureau de change. So that they now said, this is also subsidizing the dollars now. Nobody say Nigeria Naira or production has improved or increased in Nigeria. Nobody say power generation has increased too. Nobody say these rogues has generated any jobs anywhere. Not that any businesses are also have settled in. No nothing, no banner, no nothing. they came up and said that the Nigerian Naira is fighting back. Meanwhile, there were those who were subsidizing it. It was in the public. Everybody knows it. Everybody saw it. But Cardi has denied, though. Deny it. Deny it. He said, no, we are not defending. It's a buyer, willing buyer, willing seller. The Nigerian Naira is still being floated. We are not defending it. I'll give that to APC. Are you with me? APC is the only, APC and their criminal people. They are the only ones, right, that will lie to your face. You will know it's a lie, but they will insist it's not until you begin to doubt yourself. I thought it's a lie now. This is a lie. Maybe it's not a lie. Or maybe it's not a lie. No, it's a lie now. I have proof. Am I sure I have proof? These guys are insisting that it is not a lie. Or is it just me? I better check very well and make sure that they do that to a lot of people, and a lot of you have been their victims many times. They will face you and tell you and say, yes, it's what it is. Now you go on and say, una do Muslim tickets. Now still they accuse other people of being religious intolerancy. APC, but listen to Cardi. He speaks good English, by the way. From what I heard, he had his first degree somewhere in America, his second degree in the same America in Harvard. I can't confirm that. But the same guy ran down 3 different banks in Nigeria, like a whole bank like that. He ran them aground. They call him headmaster because he speaks well. When you look at what they are doing, it's beyond speaking. Look at what they are doing, which is acting. What they are doing is a total contrast. But just for the record, Cardi denies using the dollars to defend the Naira. He said the money missing from the Nigerian foreign reserve, they used it to pay for some debts. He never mentioned the debt. Watch.
Know exactly where we are headed in that direction, but it's certainly something that we are looking at. We're looking at that. Defending the Naira, which from every indication seems to be an elephant in some room. Now, I want to try and make this as clear as possible. It is not our intention to defend the Naira. It is not. And much as I have read in the recent few days some opinions with respect to what is happening with our reserves and the central bank defending the Naira, if you think back to what our overall policy and philosophy has been here, you can see it's counterintuitive. Okay, basically, what we're encouraging is for the markets to willing buyer, willing seller, price discovery. And ultimately, I perceive a future where central bank will really not need to intervene, okay, except in very, very unusual circumstances. What is important to us is that there's sufficient liquidity in the market, which I've spoken about here today. Fine, 1 billion is the outlier. Sometimes it's 600, 700 million US, as the case may be, and that will continue, hopefully. So as long as we have a vibrant currency market, why do we need to go in there to intervene? We don't need to. I can understand that, especially at the outset, there have been little cases where the Bureau de Change, the BDC, there was a need to get that segment going. And, you know, small amounts of money, relatively tiny amounts of money have gone into that to catalyze that happening. Because it's important that, again, individuals have access to funds to send abroad, their kids abroad and do things which are important, health, et cetera, et cetera. So it's important not to to keep them out of the mainstay. So that, yes. But in terms of intervention, frankly, that's really not our intention at all to intervene in the money market. And what you've seen with respect to the shifts in our reserves is a shift that you'll find in any country's reserve situation, where, for example, debts are due and certain payments need to be made. They are made because that is also part of keeping your credibility intact. And other times, money comes in and, takes it up again. And if you watch in the next couple of days, I think between yesterday and today, we had about 600 million US that came into the reserves account. So I wouldn't let people get too excited about this thing. All I will say is that we are looking towards ensuring that we have a market that operates on its own, willing buyer, willing seller, and price discovery. That's where we're going to.
So you tell me, do you believe him? At least now you've heard him. Do you believe him? At least some of you are accountants, Abi. Did you see how he dismissed the reduction in the Nigerian foreign? No detail, no nothing is given. Are you with me? It was like, no, that's not a big deal. It happens to all countries all over the world where their resource goes up, it goes down. It's just nothing. We needed to pay some debts and all of that so that we can keep our credibility. And, then we give some small amount of money to the bureau de change. Like people wants to pay hospital bills, school fees abroad. So we just give them, there's nothing. Don't worry yourself. We are not defending the Naira. That is Nigeria. Dismiss it like, oh, Kadobi has said they are not defending the Naira. All these things you are saying, they're just like, no, man, don't worry, it's nothing. Okay, we are just there we want to make more liquidity. Liquidity in this sense is that we want to make sure that there is enough dollars available whenever people want them. That's what they call liquidity. They use the word so freely, but they don't have any control over. They were supposed to have control over the dollars. You know the story now. When they were running about like headless chickens, right? Looking for dollars. They were even begging us in the diaspora. Please send your money through us. Come on, be patriotic and send your money through us so that we can have your dollars. Remember? That's him talking about liquidity. We just want to make sure that there is a liquidity in the market. There is enough dollars. He didn't give any answer. Which of the debt did you pay with $2 billion? How much did you give to the bureau de change in total? Nigeria's foreign reserve has lost $2.1 billion. And then he said, I think about $600 million came into the account yesterday. Kadobi. You come out $2.1 billion. Nobody has a clue what it's used for. Since you didn't use it to defend the Naira, the $2 billion given to you by the Afrexim Bank, where is it? Because the $1.3 billion is due in May. They're going to collect that one next month. It's a loan that Nigeria has to pay back in 5 years, or else the Afrexim Bank would have to go to Nigeria and take 67 million barrels of crude oil as a payment for that loan. Kadobi, what did you do with the money? Well, here is who is also with the IMF and the World Bank. Baba, they are discussing Nigeria at IMF and World Bank. For those who understand what it means, IMF and World Bank. You might mostly explain there. But listen to Edu.
Greater efficiency in collecting taxes and other fees and charges that government has a right to impose. And what we have done simply is we've used digitization, technology to improve the processes by which government bills, collects, and monitors the revenue that it is due. And similarly, on the expenditure side, there are some fiscal incentives which perhaps people were not had access to which they should not. So for example, we had a import duty waiver for people who are importing machinery and equipment and even raw materials that are in line with government's priorities. We've added a monitoring and evaluation module, and technology is really runs throughout everything that we are doing. We've added that module, which now allows us to track better the outcomes and track better what is being done with equipment and items that are brought in duty-free, whether they're being recycled and so forth.
What sort of boost?
We have a better window on that.
What sort of boost do you expect to tax revenues? Just in raw terms.
Well, in terms